Kia ora e te whānau. Welcome to the final episode of the year for Light Lunch. I'm joined by Grace Jack and Kat Richards, and I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves. So, Grace.
Hi, so I'm Grace. I work for Southbase Construction as a quantity surveyor. I've just graduated, finishing my Bachelor of Construction at Massey University, and I'm currently on the YPA for NZIOB and the NZIOB board as well.
Thank you, Grace. And Kat.
Yeah, Kat Richards, Design Manager from Southbase, and I'm also the NZIOB Young Professional Chair.
Very good. And yeah, we've got a lot of exciting things coming up from the YPAs in 2023. So thank you guys for all your efforts. It's really good to have some young minds and young ideas and things. So yeah, look forward to what you guys come up with. So everyone knows the drill by now. We do 3 what keeps you up at night questions to lead in, and then we learn a little bit about what you guys are listening to, watching, what have you. So I'm going to start off with Kat. What is the first thing that is keeping you up at night?
Well, I mean, I generally have a pretty good sleep, but the first thing that is keeping me up at night is, I guess, the incredible, talented young minds coming through and the future learnings that we're providing for them, I guess, as a gateway to their career aspirations. Mm-hmm. So most recently, I was lucky enough to judge the brand's Arc-Eng Build Challenge. So it was really cool to see, I guess, the sheer talent that's coming through and the amount of work that they managed to produce in 3 days. So a lot of conversations that I had with people there is what kind of interim I guess, learnings and things we can provide to them, which is really good with regards to my position as the Young Professional Chair, is developing those sort of gateways to older people within the industry, so that those learnings can be passed on. So watch this space. There's some exciting things coming next year with the NZIOB.
Very cool. I am also very impressed with your pronunciation of Arc-Eng Build. That is always a real struggle for me.
Oh, lots of practice, honestly. I would always get it around the wrong way, but I think I've got it better.
Oh, that was perfectly delivered. Very well done. And Grace.
My first kind of point for that one was how sustainable practices within the industry, how we're going to be affording them, just from a QS point of view, and as a working for a contractor like Southbase, how are we keeping on top of our subcontractors and making sure that they're reaching the sustainable goals and have sustainable practices. And I feel like there's a lot of kind of big goals going around in the industry to where we want to be sustainably, but how that's actually being implemented and how we can make that cost effective, I think is something that still needs to be looked at. It's great having goals, but actually getting to them seems to be the hard part right now.
Yeah. Is Southbase doing anything in particular that the world should know about in terms of sustainability? And
we've got a few sustainable practices that we apply within the business, and some like on site, we've all got our own sustainable methods, but I think it's mainly just how we, like, to our subcontractors, how we're making sure that they're being sustainable in their practices for delivering the project.
Makes sense.
And I guess from a design perspective with the sustainability, we have our own in-house design coordinators that we can do the sustainability services, LCA calculations, etc. So we're able to do that in-house.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. And Kat, second thing keeping you up at night?
Yeah, I suppose actually designing and building buildings. So I don't know, the industry is under so much pressure at the moment. Everybody wants things done now. The deadline was yesterday. Are we doing this process too quickly? Are we going to end up with a whole bunch of leaky buildings because these practices are not implemented? But again, like, we're doing all these wonderful things, sustainability. Auckland Council's implemented the new external envelope matrix. But again, it's just another thing. So I guess that is what's keeping me up at night, is are we doing this process too quickly? Should we be slowing down to make sure it's done properly?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like there's been a shift. My partner, who's a builder, always used to talk about I want it done before Christmas, but I want it done yesterday. Like, it seems like, and I guess that's just an ongoing thing with, the backlog of what's gone on in the last few years, but it seems to be now kind of a year-round request is I want it now, as opposed to just by Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's under pressure, whether it's a supplier, a sub, or main contractor.
No, absolutely. And Grace, on that note, what's keeping you up at night? Part 2.
My second one was currently just with how the economy is going and having a lot of subcontractors and even like small businesses and everything going under, not being able to complete their works or find the labor to do the job, how we're managing the risks around that and the contracts that we have. We can't, if something happens and the sub falls through, we can't necessarily follow up with a business that is liquidated or doesn't exist anymore because they've shut down. So that's kind of a big issue at the moment as well.
Yeah, I think that's keeping a lot of people up at night. There's so much pressure out there at the moment, and I guess then potentially needs to be some more information about how to keep afloat and stay afloat in this current climate. Kat, third and final, apart from pregnancy, what's keeping you awake?
It was actually quite hard to come up with a third, but
good.
This is another big issue in our industry, is capability of people, and also I guess what feeds into that is missed scope. So we are obviously designing buildings and things. It's having people in the right positions with the best level of understanding to be designing these things. Like, I guess with engineers, the practice is you don't work outside your level of comfort, but it should be the same across every single facet of design. And I guess it's helping everybody understand what scope is required to build projects and how we can best communicate and bridge that gap between design and building to make sure that it marries in.
Yeah, I mean, to make your life a bit easier, it sounds.
Yeah, we only know what we know, right? So it's just making sure that we're all being fully transparent and across everything.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Grace, third and final.
Like Kat said, it's hard to find 3 of these, but my last one was mainly focusing on what does the construction industry kind of look like in 10 to 20 years. Like I mentioned before, with these big goals, are we going to be achieving them? How are we going to be achieving them? And being like, just coming out of being a student and looking from a student's perspective, like my classmates, in the next 10 to 20 years will be the one kind of running the show and everything. And I can just, interesting to see how that'll work. And what the next steps in construction are, and how we're gonna, if we're gonna move away from old practices into some new ones, or how's it gonna pan out.
And I think your point exactly. I think that's why it's so important to have a group like the YPA group. You guys are the future, and yes, we need wise heads to learn how it's been in the past, but there's development needs to be continuously researched and ensure that we're in very good capable hands, which if it's you two, I think we're good.
I think just keeping like an open mind going forward as well is really important for students and learning, and like taking from the old ways and then adapting and making it something new.
Yes, absolutely. And taking everyone on board with you in the journey, which is collaboration and all that jazz. Cool, thank you guys. Now for the more lighthearted part of the 15 minutes. So I'll start with you, Kat. We would like to know what you are currently reading, listening, or watching currently.
Pretty funny. I have always wanted to get into reading and books, but unfortunately my older brother and sister were the bookworms. I just never got into books, so I like to watch. So at the moment, absolutely not educational, but I am watching selling Beverly Hills, but it's just because usually I have such a high workload and I'm always constantly doing things. It's nice to not actually think about something when you're watching it. So that's a really good program if anyone wants something really silly to watch.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm with you. Kardashians is a huge thing in my house, just for the whole escape theory. And how about you, Grace? What are you reading, listening, or watching?
At the moment, I'm reading. I've just finished the It Ends With Us book. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. I just finished that one, so I've now started the It Starts With Us, the other one, the one that comes afterwards.
I have to say, yeah, you will not be disappointed. I was a blubbering mess by the end of both of them.
Yeah. Yeah, the first one was quite intense. So I'm quite excited to get through the second one. I'm about halfway through, so it's getting there.
Awesome. And Kat, what is something you do for yourself to help with your well-being? And I guess this is important for you right now, being pregnant. It's coming up to summer. You've got lots of work on. What do you do?
I was just going to say, Grace, I don't know when you find the time to read a book, to be honest. You're so busy. Must be in the middle of the night. Yeah, so I guess my relief for my well-being, obviously everyone's busy, but when I'm not pregnant, I really enjoy playing basketball. So I used to play competitively for New Zealand, but these days I just play social level. So no matter what's going on with the day, whether it's been stressful and full on or whatever, it's good to be able to go and play basketball and have a bit of a stress reliever and come back and feel way more clearer mind. So that's my outlet.
I love that we find out these little things about people. I would have had no idea, Kat, that you played basketball. Good on you. And Grace, what do you do to look after your well-being?
I love the gym. That's really my main thing. Go there and do a bit of weightlifting, sometimes a bit of powerlifting. I quite enjoy the Olympic weightlifting when I go, so it's a bit different every time, but yeah, it's my main thing.
That's so great. I mean, yeah, exercise is such a key thing, especially when things are stressful and coming to the end of the year. Which leads into, Kat, what is your motto? What do you live by?
My motto is life's too short, so don't take it too seriously. For me, especially on a professional front, I like to keep things extremely lighthearted. So I guess everybody has their own personal stresses and things going on with their lives. The last thing they want to do is come into a professional sense and be put under even more pressure, even more stresses, even have it even more hectic. So I guess setting clear goals from the start, making sure you design to program, etc., is really important so that people understand their deadlines, but then also keeping it lighthearted and fun, because then people want to work for you and with you.
Yeah.
And it's working for me so far. So
awesome. A good work-life balance.
That's it.
And Grace, what do you live by?
It's kind of similar to Kat's, but I think something that I kind of say often is that just, shit happens. Something's always going to go wrong. There's always going to be...
Leave that out.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, there's always, always going to be something that doesn't go your way, and sometimes it's best to just move on. Go forward, just deal with it and don't dwell on it.
Yeah, I agree. It's, not what's gone wrong, but how you fix it, right?
Yeah.
We're not robots. We can't control everything. Awesome. What a great note to end on. Thank you both so much for taking the time out of your day to join me today on our final for the year light lunch. And thank you, audience, for tuning in for the year. It's been really enjoyable just getting to know our members and seeing what's going on in the industry. I think these are really fun, just little snippets of where people's heads are at. So yeah, it's been great. I just wanted to bring to the table, we've got an Industry Insights seminar this Friday with Amy Marks. It's a bit of a teaser for the Building Our Digital Communities conference in 2023. So make sure that you go to our website and register for that. It's interactive. It's going to be sort of a one-of-a-kind seminar where you actually get to speak with Amy and kind of be a part of the conversation. So yeah, it's going to be great. So yeah, awesome, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas. I guess we can say that now. And we'll see you guys in the new year.
Thanks for tuning in. See you later.